What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today I will be doing a technical analysis breakdown for a strategy with the ticker symbol MSTR. I will first be going over what I see in the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please trade at your own risk. So my goal for today is to show you guys what the market participants are doing and where they're most likely going to take the price to next. So obviously the market participants have been aggressively selling off the stock, and thus the price has been dropping. Eventually, it will come to a point where it will run out of aggressive sellers, and the aggressive buyers will step in and continue to drive up the price. As right now, we have not seen aggressive buyers. We have been seeing small buyers, small aggressive buyers. We haven't been really seeing the large amount of aggressive buyers we need to drive up the price. As right now, it looks like there's strong selling pressure. There's an imbalance between buying and selling pressure, and the selling pressure is obviously overwhelming the buying pressure, and price has been continuing to drop down lower. Eventually, price reached a point, that 240 level. So this was a target for that selling pressure. One leg down right here. Second leg down, 240. And then thus it has been stabilizing as a temporary support. But we need to see price rebound off of it or ricochet off of it for higher prices. I want to see a break of the downward sloping trend line. As you can see here, this downward sloping trend line needs to be broken for me to be technically bullish long term. Obviously, I'm fundamentally bullish long term, but for me to be technically bullish long term, we need to break that downward sloping trend line and get back above that 320 level. So there's two resistance levels in the way: the horizontal level and the downward sloping trend line level. So we need to see price rocket above that. There's a gap that can be filled in the short term back up to the 287 level. But other than that, I don't see that much higher prices in the short term. Maybe a retest of the 314 level. If that, again, it's just not really showing any signs of strength as right now. Bitcoin not looking that strong either. It's trying to move up higher, but not yet. It may see another drop down to maybe the low $70,000 level before it continues to moving up higher, which obviously pull down MicroStrategy, who has a heavy amount of Bitcoin. So again, they're kind of tied together. So I don't think we have topped, and Bitcoin is going to continue to rally without MicroStrategy. It doesn't make any sense to me. The trend looks a lot different than it did last time, and obviously they hold way more Bitcoin than they did before. So it's going to be more closely tied to Bitcoin's price action now. So as of right now, just want to cover that on the daily chart. Strong aggressive selling. We're not really seeing a strong aggressive buying. I need to see invalidation of these two resistance levels, the trend line and the horizontal level. A strong, decisive break through them will obviously change the picture. But as right now, short term is still not looking good. Long term, technically, it's barely looking good. It's still holding on. And obviously, fundamentally, long term, it just continues to do very well. Just today, it looks like Rumble, another like a video platform, purchased 7.1 million in Bitcoin, about 188 Bitcoin, and they added about 188 Bitcoin to their treasury at an average price of 91,000 per coin. So again, this is a bunch of companies going to start adding Bitcoin on the balance sheet, right? Uh, I like this quote right here. There are three types of people in this world: those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who wonder what happened. You want to be the person who makes things happen, right? You definitely don't want to be the person who wonders what happened. You know how people say, "Oh, what's Bitcoin?" Like if you don't know what Bitcoin is at this point, then it's almost too late for you. And those who watch things happen are the people like, "Oh, Bitcoin, it's too late for Bitcoin. It's already too high," or all this other excuses and stuff like that. Not really understanding that it's going to continue to go up forever, and why we'll continue to do that, not just a random thing. Why? Because obviously the dollars will continue to inflate, but that's regardless. Let's say the dollars never existed. Technology will continue to progress because entrepreneurs want to provide more value to the consumer. So that means they will try to lower down the price for you, right? And you will see that gain in productivity in your Bitcoin, right? Your Bitcoins be able to purchase more things because entrepreneurs lowered the price of everything else. So things should be trending down to zero. So that's why Bitcoin will go up technically, obviously forever. So what do you think about the companies that are building on top of Bitcoin, right? You should be able to see more returns, faster returns, if the company is building on top of Bitcoin. Because let's say you want to buy Bitcoin, but you're out of cash, right? What's the next best thing? Well, you buy the company that continuously buys Bitcoin, right? If you want to buy Bitcoin, but you're out of cash, you don't have any more, reserves. Well, the next best thing is to buy, a company that has a bunch of Bitcoin and continues to acquire Bitcoin, which would be MicroStrategy. And at this point, any buying from any company or anybody is supporting MicroStrategy. If you want to buy Bitcoin, well, you're pumping up MicroStrategy's bags. If this company continues to buy Bitcoin, it'll continue to pump up MicroStrategy's bags, right? So remember, guys, you don't want to be the person who watches things happen or wonders what happened. You want to be the person who makes things happen. So that's all I have on the daily chart for MicroStrategy. And I want to go over another thing I made a note of. Well, the volatility definitely has increased. So that's about a 56% drop. It's one of the largest drops we have seen in this entire bull cycle. So let's go back to the log scale. Even for Bitcoin, I think let's just take a look at Bitcoin's chart real quick. BTC against the US dollar on the Coinbase exchange. I think this is the largest drop, or almost the largest drop we have seen this entire bull cycle. So let's say this one right here. That's about a 23% drop. This one's about a 24% drop. This one right here is a small one, 22%. This one looks like a bigger one, a 33%. And this one from high to low, it's only been 29. So let's say if we go to the lower 70s, that might be one of the biggest drops. It's 34, 35%. And let's go back to MSTR. This is definitely one of the largest drops we have seen, about 56%, I believe it was. This was about 50%. And now we have seen about 57% so far. So the volatility is increasing. So what does that mean? It means that if the trend will continue, if the trend does continue higher, that means we're going to see very massive gains, right? If the volatility is increasing, that means you're going to see way more steeper prices than we have ever seen before. So you're going to see trends that are like almost straight up, right? Like 80 degrees when the volatility starts increasing. That's typically what happens in a trend, right? So let's take a look at this prior bubble right over here. You see how the volatility was increasing, the trend was exponentially getting steeper and steeper, and then you start seeing bigger candles, you start seeing bigger drops. This was a 24% drop versus other times it was just a small little correction. And obviously the volatility continued to get higher and higher. Same thing for Bitcoin. If you go to Bitcoin's chart or any other chart that resembles a bubble, the volatility continues to get more and more steeper. So even Bitcoin dropped 56% back over here in 2021, and it still made a new all-time high, right? It still rallied to make higher prices. So the volatility increased versus before. So this is generally okay sign if we continue higher, right? It means that we're going to be seeing more volatility in the future, and that can lead to higher prices a lot quicker than people expect. Like I said before, I'm looking for the $1,500 target. That's a measurement of this leg up right here. This is all one massive leg right here. This is the second leg, and this will take price right around to the $1,500 target. And we only saw one attempt. So this was only one attempt to reach it, and price corrected lower. So first attempt, correction. Generally we see two attempts, sometimes a combination of two to reach the target. So that's why I don't think it's a top. A bunch of other reasons why as well. And then let's take a look at a longer term measurement target that I had. You combine the first two legs together from the prior bull market right here, you drag it over. So this would have been a top right over here. Back here at the $200 level, that was more of a topping signal than where we are right now. Anyway, you combine the first two legs together, combine one large leg, you drag this over at the same starting point, and this one's targeting right around the $2,154 level by October. And then I have a $4,000 target. Again, the time base is obviously incorrect on this. It's hard to say when, but sometime soon. And this one would be right around 4,400, somewhere right around $4,000. Give or take a couple hundred. Obviously, at that point, would be the next target for MicroStrategy. Remove all the drawings. Look at the channel. So we have 1, 2, 3 swings. You drag this up. We got a swing on the bottom. As you see here, that fits pretty good. Price broke through that. Maybe we are doubling the channel now. So if we double the channel, that fits pretty good. And what do you know? We're still kind of technically above this dash line. So we're still bouncing from that dash line. So again, looks like we potentially have double the channel, right? And we're still back here at the prior all-time high as well. So that is obviously doing something to the price action. Is still relevant because we're still trading near it. Obviously not in real terms, all right? This prior high at the 262 level in real terms might be 500-600 due to inflation, but in nominal terms, in terms of price, it's at the same price level. So it does have some influence on the current price action. And again, the trend is potentially going to get steeper and steeper. And maybe sometime this year, we do see that granddaddy target that I imagine that price can reach. Maybe not that high. I think maybe at least 1,500 to 2,000. Those are the other measurement targets. But let's see if we can first get above 320, right? And then we can start looking at those higher price targets. But as right now, it's still looking pretty good. Slightly bullish today, and still have a little bit more hours left, or about an hour and a half left in the market. But I don't think anything's going to change drastically. We're not going to get below the 231 level, and we're most likely not going to get above the 320 level in that amount of time, right? It just doesn't seem feasible. The market is not random, right? We're not going to go to 200. We're not going to go to 545 tomorrow. I think everyone can pretty much bet their life on that. Even if we were to see a massive gap up, we're not going to get up that high. So we're not going to also get down to the 140 level as well. So obviously there's limits to the market, right? That's why you can do analysis and it can hold for several days or even several weeks. So all that for MicroStrategy and the daily weekly charts. This is Vee Trades, and thank you for your time.